advanced athlete program is actually the exact level of CrossFit athlete I want to be coaching. The amount of experience, the attitude, just everything that goes in with this level, and what we're saying is somewhere between being a regular kind of co-ed, using CrossFit as your fitness athlete, and in between that and somebody who's training specifically for the sport, right? So I really enjoy coaching the advanced athletes because they have a huge passion for this. Like, they're here because they want to, they're signing up for more class because that's something they want to do. But maybe not now, maybe eventually they want it to be, but not at the moment. It's not necessarily what they're trying to get to pay the bills kind of situation, you know? Yeah. Which isn't what you're necessarily in CrossFit for, because really only one dude's paying the bills. But, you know, this is great because now we're at that point where people are working hard and doing some of their homework, and they're getting things like their first handstand push-up, their first handstand walk, their first time to do a chest to bar pull-up, right? And then really exciting this week was muscle-ups. Everybody wants that unicorn muscle-up, and I still remember when I was learning the muscle-up, it was like 3 years, man, trying to teach myself how to do a muscle-up. I've still probably failed more than I've still done to this day, so many. And so seeing people get that just gets me super fired up, right? We had Jess Powers just the other day, who's a coach too, who's been working at it for a while, made it look easy. It was awesome. And it's, you know, I've been to a lot of gymnastics seminars too to try to learn how to do this, but I think a lot of what it comes from is having to learn it yourself, right? Without getting too much on a tangent, that's another thing I love about advanced classes. I mean, I give them the most direction I can, and I offer them my advice, and short of, you know, a higher level coach being like, this is what you're doing, no option, I give them, try to prepare them to make the best decision, and then I let them make whatever decision they want. So the open was super interesting. Some people wanted to redo workouts. I told them what I felt about that particular athlete redoing it. They would either decide one way or the other, and if they did worse, learning experience. If they did better, learning experience, you know? So now that's kind of coming into this. I got over on that because we had some people doing muscle-ups the other day, and we focused a little bit more on strength development in the movement, like strict pull-ups, really strict ring dips, getting deep in there rather than focusing on the transition. And I had a couple people who were like, okay, well, I really want to try just kind of kipping from the rings today. And after I suggested they work on the strength, these athletes decided to do it anyway, and it was just kind of interesting because by the end they felt like, oh, I maybe didn't get as much work as I wanted, or not as much development, but still that's
like part of it as an athlete.
Right, yeah. And you got to learn that stuff. You got to do it on your own, and this is that level in the middle where it's kind of like adolescence, right? They're little kids, they've learned it, now they got a little bit of an attitude. they think they know a little bit more now. They've learned some things, maybe they got that first muscle up. So now you got to just give them the best parent, adult, coach advice, and kind of turn them loose and let them learn from it a little bit, right? Once you get to an adult phase of things that are more mature, where maybe you're competing, you understand that the coach probably knows best, does know best, and it might be a good idea to stick to that, you know?
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't want to single people out or get into like the idea of favorites, but I do want to talk about like things you see that you are proud of. So when I say like who's either impressed you, who's made you proud, like I know that each athlete does something that you like enjoy about, but like what first comes to mind when you think about something that makes you proud, something you've seen recently?
Yeah, short of being too cheesy, A, proud of everybody. B, you know, I like the people that really embrace it. We still have some folks that, you know, want it 4 days a week, but they're kind of just still into CrossFit as a class. But then we have a few folks that, you know, really have taken advice to heart, really have embraced the community. I mean, I talk about old T-Dub, Todd Wellington all the time, but really that's because there's just so much to talk about. The guy does so many competitions. He's all over it. We've got some other folks too. We've actually moved a couple people up to GGRX. They're doing great. Allison Boyd She was one of our first ladies to make that transition into killing the muscle-ups, and with a set goal. I mean, you can tell when people really want to get through and move to GGRX, and it's their goal, and they fight for it. Allison made it through that transition through advanced in 6 months, and we still have a few other people that are taking it at a little bit different pace. This weekend we had a few ladies that were awesome at the Phoenix competition. More than a few. We had
Who were they?
April Jones, Amy Jones, and April Jones and Amy Jones both competed in the Masters division. April got first place, Amy got second place, which was awesome. It came down to a showdown of seconds in the last one, like true CrossFit excitement. It was awesome.
Yeah. I mean that. Like she said, that was like the first time she's ever won anything, right?
Yeah. Ever.
Yeah, that's crazy because like we had like the Phoenix is a local like almost it's not an in-house comp, but it's not a big event, but it's still a legit event. And
It's
for
South
her-
Texas. We had people from San Antonio, and
But for her to show up and for her to go to class and do everything and execute and go compete and win, like and achieve something she's never done in her life, like, that's pretty cool.
that's awesome, and winning feels good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. But that's so good from your perspective to see her do that.
So and man, I even put a blog post up the other day talking about how impressed I am, not short of that was that Teddy Roosevelt quote about being the person that's in there, giving yourself. The glory goes to the person that's in the battle, not necessarily the bystander, the naysayer who judges everything that's going wrong, right? And I like to go to competitions, and I posted the other day about I love to see the people learn in the competition. It's like, why do you sign up for a gymnastics seminar? It's not because you're gonna get your muscle up that day, most likely, right? You go because you learn something new every time. So I like to go and see my athletes compete, because every time they do one of these competitions, something like the Phoenix, no matter what place they came in, they learned something. It was worth it, right? For some people it might be, man, I learned that I should not go that hard on this type of workout because it gets me. For some other people, it learns that, damn, I am a champion. I can go out there and get first place, I am an athlete. And it's really cool when people like really realize that and feel that accomplishment. They're standing up there, they're smiling, they're feeling good. God, it makes me feel good right now just talking about it, I love it.
So like let's you talked about Todd a little bit, like let's go back to that. Tell me about Todd. Like who is he? Like where did he start? Where is he now?
Well, Todd, Mr. Todd Wellington, busted him. He's, I think, 36 years old when he started, 37 now. Todd just came to us as a guy who had played some football when he was younger. Can't really remember. I think he was in the Army. I forget what branch he was in, but he was in the Armed Forces too. Maybe the Navy? I can't remember. So he's a man that has had some discipline and some athletic stuff in his life. He kind of got a little sedentary with his job and stuff as of late, and then the last year he got into CrossFit, drank the Kool-Aid, did challenges through the gym like I am CrossFit, had a plan of his progression in his head, and he took it to the advanced class. So Todd, if you go to the CrossFit Central website, you'll definitely find him as one of the empowerment stories. His before and after picture has been circulated through the internet like crazy, because it's definitely one of those like you see in an advertisement, man. A soft dude, pretty soft dude, and then just shredded, man, just muscles everywhere, right? The advanced athlete program is still kind of in its infancy, right? We just started almost a year ago now, and really what the program is looking for and establishing are the leaders, right? And honestly, I think Todd's one of those people. People look up to him, people look to what he's doing, and there are a few people like that, but there's always that person that's like the example. Not necessarily obviously perfect in every way, but they strive for it, and they have that positive mental attitude and everything that's good for everyone else to like I said, have as an example, right? And Todd, as well as a few of these other ladies, April and Amy, are really stepping up into that role to show other people what to strive for, how to conduct themselves, right? and it's really cool to see that evolution of the program in that way too.
Cool.
Wow.
Anything else that you want to put down?
I don't think of what we got next. I mean, the Open turned out great. So Todd beat me in the Open by 7 places out of like 6,000. Couldn't recover out of that first WOD, so that's also cool. I love CrossFit. You know, I train to be pretty damn competitive, but I feel like it's any coach's kind of like wish for his athletes to surpass them, right? To do better, to learn from it, and take it to the next level. Because again, it's kind of living vicariously through it as the coach, but that sort of success means just as much to me as my own success. So it's really cool to see people doing that.
Cool.
Yeah.
I got some good stuff.
Not bad.
Yeah.
Just chatting.
Just
I'm
chatting.
trying to think of what else I know. These. Bow. Get some sun on these guys.